Hey y'all, welcome back to Voices of the Body, the podcast. My name is Love Ashley Elaine, and I will be your guide as you journey through building awareness of your body's voice. Today's episode, we are talking about the power in building your wellness team. We get very fixed on building a good friendship circle, work environment, and for all my business owners, our dream team, right? But as a human being that is constantly doing, I need, and we need, you need, all of us need a wellness team. We will talk about why this is important and how this process even looks, like who's on your wellness team. So prepare your mind, your body, and your soul as we get into this episode.
Soundstripe.
I like to invite you to bring your gaze down your nose or close your eyes completely if it's safe for you in this moment and if you feel safe in your body. If you're in already a comfortable seated position, finding your feet grounded into the floor, right? All four corners of our feet. There are four corners of your feet. Or laying down, or if you're driving, listening to this, because I listen to podcasts while I drive too, please be safe. But really just draw your attention where you can, or you do have the opportunity to come back to this space. And take a big breath in and release.
Soundstripe.
Big breath in and release. And one more big breath in
Soundstripe.
and release. And I invite you to bring your awareness to your body.
Soundstripe.
More specifically to the places where you hold stress. Where do you hold stress in your body? Where do you feel tightness and tension? And as you draw your attention to those areas, take another big breath in. And as you exhale, audibly sighing, allowing yourself to release any tension, any tightness that you may be holding on to. And you can take another big breath in, keeping your focus on the area of tightness and tension as you audibly sigh, allowing your body to release, giving yourself permission to let go. Do you ignore the signs that your body is giving you, where the tightness and the tension is? Do you just keep going and push yourself through it? Or do you give yourself a minute to stop and say, let me regroup, right? My body is signaling to me that I need to regroup. Do you listen to your inner voice and intuition when something doesn't feel right or feel good within your body? Do you know how to advocate for your body? Do you know how to advocate for what your mind and your spirit needs? Do you even feel worthy to take a break and to stop? So take one more big breath in and release. One more big breath in and release. And on this last big inhale, drawing the shoulders all the way up to the ears. And as you exhale, audibly sighing, allowing it to release all the tension and tightness that you're holding. Every big exhale, every exhale releases toxins out the body. And just some affirmations for you today while we're in this space. I am fine-tuning my conversation with my body. I am a human being, not a human doing. I can have a healthy mind, body, and spirit. My day-to-day is worth nothing if my mind, body, and spirit are not taken care of with intention. Rest is my birthright. I'll repeat them again. I am fine-tuning my conversation with my body. I am a human being, not a human doing. I can have a healthy mind, body, and spirit. My day-to-day is worth nothing if my mind, body, and spirit are not taken care of with intention. Rest is my birthright. So take one more big breath in and release. Another big breath in and release. And last one, big breath in and release. So allow yourself to settle in here, and we will be right back.
Soundstripe.
Do you often think about the vision you once had for yourself? Do you even have these feelings that just where you are now isn't enough? Like it's just not enough, and that you should be doing more. You can be doing more. Well, I have created a mini online course called The Inner Vision of You. Life can and will take you on a journey that you never expected to be on, but I promise it's for your highest good. And you can get back to that path towards your higher self, the self you always saw. This mini online course will give you practical guidance on just how to bring awareness back to your vision and what you can do to make shifts in your daily life that will assist you in realigning yourself. Go to ashleyelaine.me and sign up to receive emails and the free mini course. Also, it is on the first page, the home page of my website. Also, the link will be in the show notes as well as in my Instagram bio. For questions, or if this prompts you to schedule a one-on-one vision coaching session with me or to tap into some of my other offerings, send an email to bookaeyoga@ashleyelaine.me. That's ASHLEIEELAINE.me. Also, follow me on IG at The Black Creative Yogini and follow our podcast at Voices of the Body _the podcast. Your agitation is a sign that you're being called higher. Are you ready? And we are back. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Episode 9. I'm so excited. I'm excited to talk to you guys every single week. So this episode, we are talking about the importance of your wellness team. I slightly mentioned it in a previous episode, but I wanted to really bring emphasis to it. I've had a lot of people ask me about mental health leave. What did I do to, be able to qualify for it? Again, as I mentioned in a lot of the episodes, probably like all of them. And I do that on purpose because I need people to see that I didn't do anything special, but advocate for myself and what I know I needed. Right, like we're able to advocate for ourselves. That's throat chakra work. Where we get stuck is wherever in our sacral chakra, right, where like our trauma and our wounds are held, where our creativity is, and it's a lot of childhood wounds. Wherever we've been stripped of that ability to be able to advocate for ourselves, right? Like nobody knows what's best for us but us. And sometimes we look outside of ourselves to try and have somebody say, no, this is what you should do, or this is how that should be, or this is how you should dress, or whatever that looks like. But no, like if I'm fearfully and wonderfully made and created by my creator, then the only person outside of myself that knows what I need is my creator. And then on top of that, he will give me those words to speak and advocate for myself, right? So I have a wellness team. My wellness team consists of my primary doctor, my therapist. I just got a new therapist, so it like a therapist at this point. But I believe I really like this new therapist. I heard she's the creme de la creme of the agency, so I'm pretty sure like I'm right where I need to be with her. My chiropractor, that's my homie. I'm starting acupuncture, and I really adore this lady. The way I met her, like she was God sent, and just the alignment coming back from Peru and talking about Ayurveda, and she brought it up in conversation without me even mentioning it. It was just the alignment was perfect. I do hydrocolonic. I think I'm saying it right. I haven't done it in a while, but there's one specific place that I will faithfully go to because it's clean. It's like the lady at the front desk. It's a black lady. She's an entrepreneur. Like she's got two businesses kind of in one. I really want to do her yoni steam, which is next on my list. Like these are things that I do to keep my body intact, to keep me healthy, to make sure I'm doing what I need to do. Like my body, mind, body, and soul, like everything is functioning. My church is also a part of my wellness team. They don't know it, but as what I would consider my wellness team is my pastors, my church, like being available to being fed, not just on Sundays when I go to my church, but my pastor writes books, like the grow groups, the spaces that they provide for us, like different events and stuff, healing events. My first ever healing event that I went to was at my church, and we started with a lot of heart work, and that kind of initiated a lot for me. So to just even be in a church that is looking to also heal people's emotional health, or give people the permission to heal their emotional health, is very, very important. Very, very important. And I'm very happy that I am there 7 years strong. What else? Yoga for me is part of my wellness team. Of course, I can teach myself yoga, but I find teachers that I have teachers that I can go back to and have, meetings with, not just the physical practice of yoga, but how am I living? How am I moving about the world? Am I doing anything that's self-harming? Am I moving in a space that's harming others? Am I setting clear boundaries? Like all these things. And all of these entities work work together. The next thing on my wellness team is a financial advisor, because that is also a part of that wellness team, right? I want to make sure I'm also financially strengthening what I need to also. So a wellness team is your team of people that help you take care of you, right? Like my grandmother said to me one time, she was like, oh, and my dentist, I can't forget them. Like a lot of these doctors I've been with since my child was like a baby. Like I've been seeing them for a long time. I have a new OB since within the last year. I don't have to see them that often, but the last time I seen them was when I had the miscarriage in December. So your wellness team is a team of people. I mean, the financial advisor, like, I feel like that's a whole nother team of people, because then you think about, like, your lawyer, you think about, I don't know, there's a whole nother team of people that I'm building. But the wellness team is the team that helps take care of me, mind, body, and soul, right? Whether they know it or not, they are on my wellness team. Yeah, so your wellness team is the team that helps you advocate for you. The way that I was able to go out on mental health leave was because of my relationship with my primary doctor. I've been with my primary doctor for maybe 4 or 5 years now, maybe like 5 years, 6 years, somewhere in there. And I think the most important thing about building that relationship is how truthful I am with her, how honest I am with her. She can't treat me the way I need to be treated if I'm not going to be honest with her, right? If I'm not going to be open with her. But she also gives that energy off. Like she'll ask me how work is going, right? I think in the beginning, when I started seeing her, I opened up to her about like starting my own business. So she's seeing the process in, me wanting to start my own business, getting into yoga, right? Like she's seeing everything, because I'm being honest with her also. Like when she's asking me certain questions, like, I want to be honest, because like, why would I lie to you about something about my health? That makes no sense, because it's only hurting me, right? Like if I'm lying to my doctor about something with my health, even if I'm like got a crick in my neck and it's like, oh, I don't know what this is. Is it dangerous? Like, she'll say to me, no, it's not that bad, but I'll check it out anyway. And then, we'll go from there. But like any concerns that I have, I can send her an email now and she'll respond. Like she's all for rest. She's all for taking care of my mental health. She's all for taking care of my physical health. Like she's all for me taking care of me. And we are in alignment with that practice. Like we both agree that this is beneficial for me, right? And it's not like, I don't get the vibes that she does anything just out of like needing money for her practice. Like she's super sweet. She's a doll. Like I love my doctor. But she is the one that has approved me going out on mental health leave both of these times. The very first time I went out on mental health leave, my therapist at the time recommended mental health leave. But after for a while, I didn't realize that I was building a wellness team. But I knew that I wanted to stay consistent, right? I wanted to have consistent practitioners in my life and in my circle, because I just was ready to have consistency, right? I was ready to have consistency, because I also know what direction I want my life to go into. And I don't need no brand new doctor or brand new chiropractor or brand new anybody that hasn't worked with me for a year or longer, right? That doesn't know my lifestyle, that doesn't understand it. Even if they don't understand it, right? They have an idea of what my lifestyle can play onto my health, right? So we're able to have conversation about what my rest looks like, what my energy looks like. Am I spending time, am I traveling a lot? How's my yoga practice? What is the stresses of building a business look like? How is that affecting you? How is your kid doing? How is this going? Like, all of those questions are to tap into how is my mind, body, and soul aligning with each other, right? So even like my chiropractor, God, I love her. She's super funny. It's like going to therapy for the third time when I go to see my chiropractor, but we talk about everything, just about like everything. But she also needs to know those things too, right? Because, and I have a massage therapist. I haven't booked with her in a while. But yeah, I have a dedicated massage therapist that I go to. She doesn't know it, but I believe she has like healing power in her hands. Yeah, she doesn't do Reiki. I feel the Reikiness in her hands every time. Y'all, I keep like pulling the cord out of these headphones. So my chiropractor, same thing, right? She's very aware of me being a yoga teacher, my yoga practices, my personal practice, just what like the traveling that I've been doing and that I'm gonna keep doing, just what my lifestyle has been, right? My stressors, like all the things. And those are things that she needs to know also, right? Because even like before both of my trips this summer, for my yoga trips this summer, she wanted to see me like 2 more times, like back to back before, and then 2-3 times back to back when I came back, right? Because I'm 5'10" and change. Not every airplane seat is comfortable, and even when I pay extra for the ones that quote unquote give you more leg room, they don't give me enough leg room. Like I need a bed basically at this point. So which means I need to move up to first class. But yeah, like she's very on point with, like, she reads, like, she's familiar with my bones in my body. She's familiar with it, and I know it because like certain things that hurt or ache or whatever that is, like she'll even say, like when she stretches me out, like she'll stretch out my hips, and one time she was like, wow, your hips are like, they're not as tight as they were last time. Yes, see, like you pay attention, like, and we have conversation and dialogue about it. Like I come in and I tell her I got a crick in my neck, or my hip won't pop, or whatever, my back, like my lower back, my middle back, my shoulders, whatever it is, like I tell her what it is and tell her what I think may have triggered it, all the things. My wellness team is what has also saved me, right? My grandmother asked me one time, why do I go to all these doctors? And I said, because I don't want to end up where you are, right? My grandmother is an amputee. So I see her, she's thriving, right? She's still healthy. Thank God she is still with us. She is still with me. I need her here with me. But I see the medication. I see like the just the things in the bloodline, right? Like the hypertension and the high blood sugar and diabetes and high blood pressure, like all these things. And it's just like I don't want to have to like worry about these things, right? I don't want to have to like I don't want stress to be causing me anxiety and I feel like I can't take a break. Like I feel like culturally the minute you say you're tired and you want to take a break and you actually take that break, like so many people want to judge you for it. So many people want to tell you that you're lazy and you're not doing anything. Sir, ma'am, one thing love Ashley Elaine, is going to do is go to sleep. I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to take a nap with no question. And naps are supposed to be 45 minutes. I'm going to take a 4-hour nap. I did it in college. Like my friends, I would be hanging out with them. I purposely made sure that I had a off campus, but kind of on campus housing until I decided like a fool to move back on campus. But like I would disappear and go right to my room and go to sleep. They would have to call me and wake me up for dinner because I would literally take a 4-hour nap. Like one thing nobody has to ever tell me to go do is go lay down ever. Like I would go like at work when I used to work in as a care manager, I would go to my car and sleep in my car, or I would just go home and take like and lay down for a minute. Like it was, that's one thing nobody ever has to tell me to do is to go lay down. Never ever. Never ever. Like I've been like that since like middle school. Like my mom would come home and I'd be knocked out. And it's like 5-6 o'clock in the afternoon, night, whatever. Like I think at one point she thought I was pregnant. It's like, no, boo, I'm tired. Like I was born tired. This is just what it is. I am a Kappa body type. Like I'm tired all the time, but it's like I'm an energetic tired. I'm not like slothish tired. I always say, like, my homegirl laughs at me. She tells me that I'm like a sloth. And I say I'm like a monkey because monkeys like to go, like they like to play and do and swing and all the things, right? And then when they don't do anything, they don't do a thing. They don't move. They seem like the most laziest creatures when they don't want to do nothing. That is me. When I don't want to do anything, I'm not going to do anything. I love watching TV. I've even been advised by my doctor, my therapist, all of the things, all of the people on my team, to do whatever it is that I need to do to rest. And rest for me is I'm going to lay on my couch, not even sit on it. I don't sit on anything. I sit on my yoga mat. I lay on it too. But I'm going to lay on my couch with my comfy blanket, turn on the TV, and also like distract myself with something else. So I still might create something or like, I don't know, work on something, but it's still something that I want to do. Like it's not a mandated thing. Nobody's making me do it. Right. So, yeah, I enjoy having consistency in who I go to for my dental work, who I see as my OBG, who I see as my PCP. Like, I love having the consistency because my body is very sacred to me. And it's like really strange. Like the older I get, the more I realize this. I was never taught that when I was younger. I was never taught that your body is a sacred place. Like I was never taught that. Never had that conversation. Never was told that I have full control and autonomy over my body. None of the things. This is something I've had to grow into learning. And there's something about once I locked my hair, I just like the locking of my hair made me want more consistency in every single aspect of my life. It's very, very strange. The one thing I do not have is a loctician. I do not let anybody touch my hair. I do not want anybody else to lock my hair. I locked my hair myself. I maintain it by myself. I grow it by myself. I do all the things with it by myself. That is the only thing I do not have somebody to do for me or help me with or advocate for, like none of the things. Because my crown is a very sensitive place. And that is where I get my downloads. I have dreams, all the things, all the things that are guiding me, right? Like here are connected to my crown. There's only 3 people that can touch my hair, and none of them have touched it since I've locked my hair. Those people are my grandmother, my cousin Nikki, and an old hairstylist of mine that lives in Orlando named Lola. Outside of those 3 people, I don't want anybody to touch my hair. I don't know your hands. I don't believe your hands are healing hands. And I don't want anybody touching my crown. I don't know what kind of energy you're carrying unless I know what kind of energy you're carrying. No. I'm good off of that. I enjoy doing my own hair. There's something about me taming my own crown that is empowering to me and makes me feel good. I enjoy, I have a whole routine, for when it comes time to do my hair. So that is the only person or entity that I do not have on my wellness team. Everything else I have, even down to a nail salon where I get my eyebrows arched and my feet done. I have a specific place that I go to because it's like being in a relationship, right? After a while, you know what your partner likes and dislikes. You know what their favorite food is. You know what their favorite color is. You know that they enjoy surprises. You know what their body is like. You know, and even when things change, right, there's communication there and you're able to still learn with them, still walk with them on that journey, right? As long as we're being safe, as long as everybody is being respectful of one another, all the things, right? We're still learning each other, yet we trust each other enough to have the conversation and communication about our bodies, our jobs, all the things, right? It's the same exact thing. The same exact thing. The only difference is it's a whole team of people, right? I call it your wellness team, right? These are the people that help you advocate for yourself. So that's number 1, right? Y'all know, I gotta have my 3 little points. But that's the first one, right? That's why it's important. It's important for you to identify your wellness team. Even if you have to sit and write it down, it's okay, do I have a consistent wellness team? And how consistent am I with tapping into my doctor? Do I have a therapist? Do I need a therapist? I think at this point, It's 2022. I think if anybody is questioning if they need a therapist, you need the therapist. Like, everybody should just have a therapist. I don't like Everybody should just have one. Everybody should just have one. Therapy also allows you to self-reflect, right? Like, the one type of person that makes me scared in this world are the people who cannot see themselves, the people who choose not to self-reflect, the people who have no awareness of themselves. They're the like Mike Myers and Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, those people don't scare me at all. The people in this world that are walking, talking, living, and breathing, we bump into them at the grocery store, we live next door to them. Those people who have no awareness of self, do not believe in self reflection. Those are the people that downplay therapy. Those are the people who don't believe in therapy. Like, I actually had somebody say to me, oh, like, you go to therapy, but you get to tell your therapist whatever you want, so you're probably not being truthful. Sir, ma'am, I'm not paying what I'm paying my therapist every session to sit there and lie. If I want to lie to my therapist, if I want to lie to my doctor, if I want to lie to my chiropractor, if I want to lie to my massage therapist, if I want to lie to any of these people, I'm going to keep my money in my pocket. Let's start there. Like, therapy is not free unless you do EAP, which every job should be offering that, right? And I would advise you to check, because I believe, and you can check with your job, most jobs do the 6 free sessions, right? And then if you choose to stick around, you either keep that therapist or they give you a new one. I chose not to go that route because I need consistency, right? Like, the therapist that I just moved on from, I've been with her since November 2nd of this year. And the only reason why I had to get a new therapist is because my old therapist was dope. And she had aspirations and dreams, and she moved up within her agency. So, it was a good space for us, because I was able to attest to how amazing she is, and the transition was perfect for the both of us, because now the therapist that I have, like I said, I believe she's been called the GOAT. Like, she comes highly recommended, and so, like, it's basically one of those things where it's like, oh, this is the therapist where if you cancel a session and try to reschedule it for sometime that week, you're probably not going to get one. And for where I'm going in my life, that's what I need, because she also does life coaching. So she's able to work with me on not just past, present, but also future things, right? So now our conversations are going to be a little bit different, right? Whereas, like, my old therapist, a lot of our conversations were working through the past, right? Working through childhood things, right? And it's not to say that some of that stuff won't come up again with my new therapist. It will, like, I'll be in I know I'm in a different space where now with this therapist, like, we can talk about some of the things in the past that I might still be working through in grief, or still be working through in the present moment, both. And we can also talk about what my future looks like, right? Like, how do I start planning for what that looks like and what my future goals are, right? Really life planning. So this is why it's important to just have a team, right? Because now when it's time for me to move on from my current employer, or whatever that looks like, and I have this conversation with my therapist, there's advocacy there, right? she can coach me in advocating for myself, right? And really, really help me fine tune what that looks like. But because she's also able to do that with me, she's also advocating for me, right? She can give me the truth on, oh, I think you're ready, or what do you think, or, what kind of boundaries can you set up now to stay and do what you need to do until, like, all of those things, right? So, yeah, I would definitely check your employer for the EAP. Again, every job should have it, and start there. Again, we just came fresh out of a pandemic, probably still kind of in it, but who knows at this point. It's 2022. The world is expensive. Everybody should have a therapist. Like, I will spend money on all of these entities. All of these entities. Shopping is also therapy for me. Both, and I rather like make sure I can go talk to my therapist, or like go see my doctor, or go to my chiropractor instead of shopping also. But that is also therapy. Thank you, Express, Victoria's Secret, and Aldo. They are also on my wellness team. The second important reason why you should have a wellness team is realignment, right? It's like when you take your car in, right? And your wheel is off. Like, you're driving your car and something is just off, right? You take your car in and you get your wheel realigned. They straighten you back out. They straighten the wheel back out, right? If you don't get the wheel straightened back out, what happens? You end up driving really weird. You can cause yourself to get into an accident. It's not safe. Like your car can get messed up if you prolong it. Then you're putting yourself and other people at risk, and whoever else is in your car. Like, it just becomes a whole thing. So when you have a wellness team, right, you give yourself permission to realign, right? So when something is off in your body, right, the simplicity of being able to call your doctor's office and say, hey, is Dr. So-and-so in? When will they be in again? I need to talk to them about this, and this. Or even like now I can email my doctor through like a portal, right? I can send her an email and say, hey, I'm feeling this, and this. If it's something that's already in my chart, in my record, something that we've already talked about, she could just go ahead and refill my prescription, right? She can go ahead and just kind of tell me in the email, oh, okay, that's fine. I'll do this, and this. And then bam, we're sending it off. Like, I don't even have to go see her, right? Because that's the relationship that I've built with her. Like, that's the relationship I've built with her. Like, that relationship building also saves time. When you when you take the time to build relationship, it also saves you time, right? It saves the guesswork on both you and the person, the primary doctor, even like your spouse, right? When you put in the work to build the relationship will save you time. So I don't have to get dressed and try and take off from work and do all these other things and schedule. Now I have another schedule, right? I can literally, because of the relationship that's been built with that office, not even just my doctor, like the office, right? I can call up there and talk to the receptionist and be like, hey, I need this, and this. And she'll be like, oh yeah, just send it right over. Or I can send an email to my doctor and say, hey, I'm like this, and this. And she'll be like, oh yeah, just send it right over. And it's done before the day is even over. Relationship building is important. Relationship building is very important. Authentic and intentional, right? Authentic and intentional relationship building. The third thing is when you have a wellness team, you give yourself permission to be. You just give yourself permission to be. I am forever grateful that my doctor has approved me twice this year for mental health leave. I didn't know that I needed both until I got both. Granted, the first time around this year that I went out on mental health leave, um I needed it because I didn't even know what was about to come, what was about to happen, but I knew I needed that space to grieve my son moving to live with his dad. I A lot of other things took place while I was out on leave. So there was a lot compacted and compiled into that mental health leave. And it was just like one day I'm compartmentalizing, the next day I'm ready to like not be here anymore. The day after that, I'm like trying to figure out if I'm resting, if I'm supposed to be resting, I should be doing something. Like that mental health leave was a lot. It was also very much needed. This mental health leave that I'm currently on, I am so grateful I took it. So grateful I took it. So grateful I took it. Because even though I went to Peru and Costa Rica for yoga trips, what people fail to understand is that yoga is probably the only profession that when you take a training, any type of yoga teacher training, it invites you and kind of forces you to go deeper. Like you have to do your healing work. You have no choice. So it was definitely like a threefold trip, right? It was fun, it was healing, and I was able to learn. It was fun, it was healing, and I was able to learn all of them, both of them, right? So, but coming back from both, I needed this space. I needed this space to be able to just be, right? Even though, I started the podcast and I'm working on my programs. Release and Rise will be available for registration October 1st, right? My yoga mentoring program. Really trying to get my website up to date and up to par with all my services so I can put myself in position to work for myself, right? And do what it is that I love to do and create and build and connect with people, right? Like I needed this space for my mind, my body, and my soul. Like, and at first I was like, okay, Ash, like, are we taking this just for these two trips, or are we really taking this? And coming back from those two trips, the level of clarity that I had, like, I came home from Peru and I walked in my house and I was like, who lives here? I don't really understand who lives here or who has been living here, cuz what I feel on me right now is not what's in this house. Like the energy was trash. The energy in my house was trash when I came back from Peru. So, I had to do some deep cleaning, right? And not like my house was messy physically, energetically, my house was nasty. Like coming from Peru and walking into my house was like I thought I had walked into somebody else's house. Like I didn't understand what was happening. That's how much healing work I did. That's how much cleansing I did. That's how much so this time, right? Like having the space to advocate for myself to my doctor, and my doctor advocate for me with no hesitation to take another leave, gave me all the permission I needed to just be, right? It gave me permission to really heal the things that I needed to heal and really allow myself to ebb and flow in the comfort of my home, right? Because I mean, and I'm going to be honest, like before I even went out on leave, like I was already out of PTO. Because when I went back to work from my first mental health leave, I couldn't do it. I was struggling. I called out a lot. I took sick days a lot. Like I was struggling, like to the point where one morning, I got to work and I could, like, on the way to work, I could not stop crying. I got to work and one of the ladies opened up the door for me and like I fell into her arms and was like, I can't take it anymore. I could not stop crying. And I have a very supportive work environment. Like the people that I work with are very supportive in one particular space. Um, but who, like, I don't need to be going to work crying every day. Like that's not their job. That's not their job. Do I feel safe to do it on that particular day? Yes. Yes, because there's several locations that I can work from, but that particular location was called to me to go to that day. Like I don't have no real set spaces and stuff. Like I that moment I knew it was time for another mental health leave. I knew it was time for another mental health leave. And I'm happy that I took it. I'm very proud of myself for advocating for myself and trusting God and my faith and just who I am, right? What I deserve. What I deserve. I trust God and I trust what I deserve, right? Rest is my birthright. I'm allowed to stop. I'm allowed to stop. We've we've fallen into the communism of we have to go. We have to work. We have to spend. Do I love spending money? Yes. I'm not even gonna lie. I love spending money. I love spending money on the things that I want to spend money on, right? Both and. I also like to take a nap. I also like to stop and do nothing. I think when you give yourself permission to stop and do nothing, you that is the biggest thank you to your creator because even our phone has to recharge. Bloop. Even our phone has to recharge. The lights have to go out eventually. You can't sleep with the lights on, right? Everything has a yin and a yang. Everything has its fast pace and its slow down, right? And what happens is so the world has put us in this space where it's like, oh, I have to take a self-care day. I have to take a day off and do a self-care day. And now the self-care day is like going to get my nails done or not doing anything that day or you're like you might end up still going and doing things, right? Like we've now come to, oh, I have to take a day to take care of myself. No. When you have your wellness team, self-care now becomes a lifestyle. It is no longer, oh, like I'm going to take a day off of work and take care of myself. No, self care becomes a lifestyle. When you are intentional and audacious about taking care of yourself, saying no when you need to say no, setting boundaries when you need to set boundaries, um, intentional about being honest about what your body is feeling, what your body needs, what your emotions need, right? Like what your emotions need, because if you don't tend to your emotions are going to sit in your body, and your body's going to cause you to react. And that reaction might not be the reaction that needs to happen. Think about when you are lacking sleep. Listen, I done cussed a many of people out just off lack of sleep. Like I've come to a bedtime for myself. I've come to a bedtime for myself. And I think even when when my son was with me and was starting to put him on a schedule, it made things a lot smoother for me. Because I had him on a schedule, I was able to put myself on a schedule. It's a beautiful thing. Rest is your birthright. It is not something that you have to work for, right? You are allowed to take a break. Please take a break. You are allowed to stop and go lay down, right? You are allowed to tell your doctor, listen, I'm not feeling well, right? But you have to build those relationships. You have to build those relationships with these people. I think the most primary people on your wellness team are your PCP. If there's any other specialists that you have to have for any other health concerns, right? Those people. And really listening to your body, right? Like, so now the conversation can easily go into like medication and Ayurveda, like moving through those spaces, but I don't want to. We'll talk about Ayurveda in a different space. But really listening to your body, right? Like listening to your body. People are going to hate me. All these jobs are going to hate me because I'm sitting here advocating for y'all to take mental health leave and take care of yourselves. Like, that's your birthright. That's your birthright. I'd rather take care of myself. Like, if I don't take care of myself and I'm burning myself up to make money and to create and do all these things, what good is my body if I can't go make the money? What good am I? So, yeah, I'm going to stop and take a break. I'm going to lay down. I'm going to take whatever space I need to for me, because I can't chase money. I'm not chasing money. What's for me is going to be for me. And if I believe that what's for me is for me, then I also believe that even when I'm taking a break, God is still working. He's still moving on my behalf, right? Like when my body is signaling certain things, that's also God telling me those are the check engine lights on the car, right? When the check engine light comes on in the car, those are the lights in your body, right? What you don't take care of will manifest into something else. What you don't take care of is going to manifest into something else. If you don't take care of your anger, it's going to turn into ulcers. If you don't take care of your heart work, it's going to turn into heart pain and different things within your chest. I'm just the messenger. Like, if you don't stop and really ask yourself, well, how am I really feeling? It's going to manifest into something else. The emotional things that we don't work through manifest into health problems. Right? I'm not making none of this up. There's books and stuff that I read and very smart people that I know. So, yeah, that's all I got. Yeah, y'all, go build your wellness team. Go build your wellness team, because when it's time for you to say, I need a break, those are going to be the people that advocate for you. Those are going to be the people. Get you a really good therapist, build that communication, build that relationship. If you don't have a PCP, primary care physician, go get one, build that relationship, build that communication, right? You can't be afraid of what the doctor is going to tell you. I'm more afraid of what will manifest if I don't tell her what I'm feeling than me telling her what I'm feeling and she tells me something back. Yeah. Just, you got to have enough faith to believe that if you take a pause, if you take a rest, if you say no tomorrow, that what is for you is for you. And that's it. Thank you all so much for tapping in to Voices of the Body. So just a quick trigger warning, and I did post an episode that will be out also as a trigger warning. October is a very, very, very special month for me. It is going to touch on some very near and dear things in my heart. It is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and it is also Miscarriage, Pregnancy Loss, and Infant Loss Awareness Month. So there is a trigger warning episode. I advise you all to listen to it. And yeah, this podcast is only given the real, raw truth about our journeys and the healing. That's it. That's all I got. If you want some cupcake fluff, I'm not for you. But I'm excited for next month. I've got some amazing people that are going to tap in with us. So yeah, go build your wellness team. I love you all for free. Namaste.